Today we gather, there we go, that's better. Today we gather not only to recognize academic achievement, but to celebrate the perseverance, growth, identity, and purpose of our haumana. Our graduates have walked a unique educational journey, one shaped by innovation, flexibility, cultural grounding, and community. Through independent learning, meaningful experiences, and connections across our islands, they've demonstrated resilience and determination in ways that inspire us all. To our graduates, you're proof that learning while continuing to pursue your dreams. Each of you carries a story of strength. As a Hawaii-focused charter school, we believe education is more than earning credits or diplomas. Education's about knowing who you are, where you come from, and how you'll contribute to your community and the world around you. We hope that during your time with us, you've strengthened not only your minds, but also your connection to culture, place, ohana, and community. To the ohana and supporters who have gathered here this afternoon, mahalo nui loa. Your encouragement, sacrifice, patience, and unconditional love have helped guide these graduates to this moment. Your support created the foundation that allowed them to persevere and succeed. This achievement belongs to you as well. And to our dedicated kumu and staff, mahalo nui for leading with compassion, creativity, and commitment. Your work has made a lasting impact on the lives of our students. Graduates, as you prepare to step into your next chapter, know that you'll always carry the strength of this community with you. Let aloha guide the choices you make, stay connected to your roots, continue to seek knowledge, and never forget the importance of serving and uplifting those around you. Wherever your path leads, we hope you all move forward with courage, humility, and purpose. We're incredibly proud of you and excited to share this day with you to celebrate your achievements. It's my honor to introduce our guest speaker today. Mahina is here, Mahina Paishan is here, and aloha. And Kilia Purdy Avellino, our high school kumu extraordinaire, is going to join us up here to introduce her. So, hello, Kilia.
Just was asked like less than an hour ago, okay, to introduce. I know. And so I'm going to start with small kai mo'olelo because our other kumu gave me this one now. Faylene Mahina Paishan, but better known, and most people know her as Mahina. I first met Mahina when we were both in high school in the early 90s. I won't say exactly when, but in the early 90s, and Mahina came to Molokai. I think it was the first time to Molokai, and she was at Kamehameha Schools, Kapalama, and I was at Molokai High School. And I just remember Kamehameha bringing, like, I think it was ensemble or, what do I have here? It's Ekalasia. And so they brought a whole bunch of kids, and Molokai, we like, oh, new kids our age, and we always like connect and build pilina. And I remember her asking, I think it was our other cousin, Miki Ala Peskaya, known as her maiden name Ayao back then, but Peskaya today, said, oh, Mahina's looking for her ohana, your grandma Theo. I said, oh my gosh, I'll take her there. So I got to take her to my grandma's home, and we made connections. And ever since then, we've always been pili. I following more in her footsteps than vice versa. But for those who know her and those who may not, Mahina has done so many extraordinary things in her life from the 90s, and she continues till today to continue to build, continue to develop, continue to grow so many things in our Native Hawaiian community. I remember her through high school, a little after high school, I believe was Makali'i. That was another Makali'i Voyaging ʻOhana that she did. My brother was part of it for a little bit. Pai Pai o He'eia. So Tati today brought up in her senior capstone project. Auntie Mahina was instrumental in getting that going as well. She was a po'okumu of Hawaiian public charter schools such as Halau Kumana and Kanu ʻāina, always at the forefront, this wahine. Vai Collective as founder, owner. ʻAina Aloha Economic Futures was another one and still going on that. And multiple other Native Hawaiian focused entities, organizations, businesses, serving the community in multiple different ways on boards, committees, you have it. More recently, Mahina came to Moloka'i. They were doing scoping around the islands on the Mauna Kea, on Mauna Kea issues and where it's going. And so they were doing scoping projects across the island. And Mahina's always been like this. She asked me, who do you have? You have any youth that can help do note-taking as we facilitate? She always considers bringing in the youth so that she can help to foster and nurture the next generation leaders. And we were fortunate to have Mahina, our Mahina, Haulike, on our Moloka'i scoping of Mauna Kea. And so she also mentored my own kids for another community meeting that she had done on Moloka'i. So in trying to figure out, when we asked the kids, you know, what do you guys like to have for your keynote speaker? And at the time, they couldn't think of, you know, who that person would be. And we, for more reasons than what I just mentioned here, as you guys can see, Mahina, a manawahine, a good example, Native Hawaiian, the perfect person, but also Mahina, not only was that she po'okumu of Kanu ʻāina, but she was our first po'okumu of ka ʻOhā. And we probably wouldn't be here today if Mahina hadn't been at the forefront once again to get ka ʻOhā started. And so we are here today because of you, cousin, and I love you. Welcome everybody, Feline, Mahina, Paishan.
You my hero. You my hero. Olnei ke ia ʻāina ikiaia ni kaua o launi. The pleasant wind of this area of Kalihi matches the grace and the beauty of Cousin Kilia. So one thing I would like to say about you, cousin, is when we think about opuali'i, the concept of opuali'i, you are right there in my mind. Your humility, your grace, your perseverance, e ho'omau, e ho'omau, e ho'omau. And all of you folks are my heroes. You know why? You folks are my heroes. The kumu here, Margot, Kumuniko, all of the Kumu here families, you are my heroes. The reason why is because you have the courage to be a part of an innovative movement, right? This is still yet kind of learning situation and system, and you folks are daring to break ground and make the way for continued Hawaiian place-based, culturally rigorous education, not only for these distinguished faculty, Kanu ʻāina governing board staff, proud ʻohana, our guests, and most importantly, the graduating class of Kanu ʻāina ka ʻOhā Public Charter School. Congratulations, o mai ka'i nui. Today is more than a graduation ceremony. It is a celebration of perseverance, identity, culture, and rootedness in community. It is a reflection of what can happen when education is rooted in aloha, guided by ike kupuna, and centered around the strength of ohana and aloha ʻāina. At ʻOhā, you know, but for those like who don't know enough yet about ʻOhā, community spans across ʻāina, from Hawaii all the way to Kauai, with 400 plus haumana students across 5 islands and just under 40 dedicated hardworking kumu and staff. These numbers represent more than enrollment or of staffing. They represent a thriving learning ohana, united by shared values, shared purpose, and a shared commitment to the future of Hawaii. I truly believe this. We had started ʻOhā just before COVID, the COVID event, and just good thing. And I got to meet Cousin of course, I knew Cousin Kaleo, but I was introduced to what she was doing with her ho'olehua, homestead families and communities, and then with Nicole and all the things that she was doing at Waikoloa and across Waimea and other places. And we saw a great opportunity to bring the best of brick and mortar learning into a new vehicle of learning. So, as we know, Kanu ʻāina is a bilingual, Hawaiian-focused public charter school serving students in grades K through 12. The brick and mortar school based in Waimea on Hawaii Island, with ʻOhā, a virtual and blended division of Kanu ʻāina, serving students K through 12 with various ohana groups. The program offers a multifaceted approach to educating keiki, weaves together holistic and supportive learning environments for haumana in grades K through 12, ensuring that every learner is seen, supported, challenged, and valued. And kumu, I'll talk to that. This is, it's tough to be able to customize learning, right, for 40 plus, whatever your number of students that are assigned to you. To do it in the way that I've heard from students, from family members, and people in the community, the way that, I'm sorry that this is going in and out, the way that you are doing this and nurturing these students is where I believe education as a whole, public education in Hawaii needs to go. And again, you folks are laying the way, and thank you for your dedication, commitment, and your leadership. So kuli'ai kanu'u, strive for the highest. We know that this is Kanu ʻāina's mission that guides everything that we do, a philosophy of excellence, inspiring us as we collectively design, implement, and continuously evaluate quality, culturally driven, intergenerational Hawaiian model of education with aloha. Now, graduates, as I'm talking, I want to challenge you to not when you listen to these words, it's not just words on a paper, but I want to challenge you to think about how will this experience become a part of your life's legacy, right? You are graduates now, soon to be graduates of ʻOhā. So how can you extend this experience to your younger siblings, to your cousins, to your neighbors, and people in the workforce? Graduates, you are a living expression of that vision. The very name ʻOhā carries deep meaning. In the kalo plant, the ʻOhā or corm is a young shoot that grows from the parent plant, connected, nourished, and carefully tended to until it is strong enough to thrive on its own. And when mature, that particular kalo plant in turn nourishes the people around it, feeding not only us physically, but ohana and hopefully a kauhale of families. Graduates, you are like these young ʻOhā. You've been rooted in ʻike Hawaii, nourished by your kumu, strengthened by your ohana, and cultivated through aloha, patience, and care. Over the years, no matter how long you've been at ʻOhā, you have grown steadily, probably through some challenges. Who here didn't wait till the last minute to do your capstone? No worries, shaka. And now, like the kalo plant, reaching maturity, you stand ready to nourish your communities. Some of you will nourish through leadership. Some of you will nourish through servant leadership, some through teaching, through healing, through creating, building, and caring for others. No matter what course you choose, all of you will carry within you the ability to feed your lahui, my lahui, our lahui, with your gifts, with your talents, and the skill sets that you need to continue to cultivate. Like Carlo growing in the lo'i, none of us thrive alone. The health of one plant depends on the health of the entire system, the vai, the ʻāina, the people who malama it, and the surrounding plants growing together. In the same way, your success is connected and has always been connected to the health of your community. You learned in homes, community spaces, online classrooms, and gatherings throughout the islands. You adapted, you persevered, and you continue to grow, even perhaps when the journey may have taken some turns or you had some bumps along the way. And most importantly, you did not walk this path alone. At Kanu ʻāina, you know that we believe deeply in our Hawaii values. Aloha ke kahi. Love one another. Malama I kou kuleana, take care of your responsibilities. Kokua aku, kokua mai, give help, receive help. Mahalo I ka mea loa'a. I really like this one. Be thankful for what we have. These values rooted in the wisdom of our hula kupuna and reflected in countless olelo eo create the safe, loving, and positive environments and conditions that shape not only strong, savvy students, but strong, loving, caring, empathetic humans. As a part of this celebration, our kumu would also like to offer reflections in mana'o for each of you. Words that recognize not only academic accomplishment, but the character, values, and ike you all carry forward into this world. So for our graduates from Molokai, your kumu said, "A'a kahula, waiho kahila hila makahale." A piece of advice for haumana: never be ashamed to learn and try new things. You will only truly experience life and all what it has to offer if you step forward and try. What I admire about our Molokai haumana, or what we admire about our Molokai haumana, is that they are truly kua ʻāina. Kua ʻāina. They step up when kokua is needed. They understand kuleana and the responsibility that comes from living on and representing Molokai. They carry with them the strength, humility, and deep sense of community that makes Molokai or Molokai so special. For Tatiana, graduate from Oahu, e lawe ke a'o, malama e oi mau kana'auau. Take the teachings and care for them, and wisdom is bound to multiply. Wherever the winds beneath your wings may carry you, go with the teachings of your ohana and the lessons of this place, this special place. Carry that aloha, and especially aloha ʻāina, into the world and reflect it back to everyone that you encounter. What we admire most about Tatiana is her ability to lead with humility. Even in moments of leadership and accomplishment, she uplifts others, listens deeply, and carries herself with grace and kindness. And for Caleb from Kauai, one thing we appreciate most about Caleb in his quiet strength and steady presence is his quiet strength and steady presence. He reminds us that leadership does not always need to be loud. Sometimes leadership is shown through consistency, humility, perseverance, and the simple act of treating others with aloha and respect. As you continue your journey, remember to stay grounded in your ohana, your faith, and your values. Like the kalo plant planted firmly in good soil, may you continue to grow in ways that nourish those around you. These reflections remind us that education is not measured only by grades or diplomas, but by character, by relationships or pilina, our Hawaii values that will continue to carry our graduates into the future. And so graduates, before I close today, I would like to leave with you one final reflection, something that I've learned in my own journey. One of the most important things you can do in this life is dare to fall in love. Dare to fall in love with something meaningful. Like, why is that a piece of advice you want to give on a graduation commencement? Listen, ho'olohe mai. So dare to fall in love with something meaningful. Not simply to admire it from a distance, not simply to appreciate it when convenient, but to truly commit yourself to something larger than yourself, something that calls you, challenges you, grounds you, and transforms you. Nearly 30 years, actually 30 years ago, in 1996, I first stepped to He'eia Fish Pond with nothing more than curiosity and a desire to learn, to volunteer and do something connected to the moana, to the ocean. At that time, I could not have imagined how deeply that one place would shape my life. So what began as simply loving one place became a calling. After 1996, 5 years later, that small effort grew into a nonprofit organization, 501c3, with employees. I was still in college now. I started volunteering in 19. Employees, programs, partnerships, big substantial budget that required an audit, but more importantly, it became part of something much larger than any one individual. At that time, there were fewer than 5 Hawaiian fish ponds actively being restored and cared for throughout Hawaii. Probably 3 of the 5 were on Molokai, and then 2 on the windward side of Oahu, of this island. And many local i'a had been neglected, forgotten, and viewed only as remnants of the past. But when people fall in love with a place, they begin to malama it. And when enough people commit themselves to that work, movements are born. So the first year I started to volunteer, there were no other volunteers except myself. 5 years when we established our 501c3, I think there were about just under 1,000 volunteers. And then by 10 years later, it was between 17 and 20,000 volunteers every year. Many of those volunteers were fueled by charter school students and families. So today, because of the dedication of communities, practitioners, educators, cultural stewards, scientists, and aloha ʻāina advocates, there are now more than 60 local i'a. So from a time 30 years ago when we knew of only 5 local i'a that were being cared for, loved upon, restored actively, now there are just about 60 local i'a throughout Hawaii, ʻāina, and across Moananui Akea that are being restored and cared for. And now, more importantly, we no longer see local i'a merely as archaeological sites or relics of history. We recognize them once again as living systems of abundance and resilience, places of ecological restoration, cultural revitalization, scientific and cultural learning, education, food systems, and community healing. Local i'a remind us of the ingenuity of our kupuna. They remind us that our ancestors understood engineering, resource management, independence, well before these modern concepts became very popular. Local i'a taught us, are helping us to remember what agency and self-determination look and feel like. They expand our horizons of possibility. They restore our belief that indigenous knowledge belongs not only in museums or textbooks, but at the center of our learning. And I hear that one of our graduates actually did their capstone on He'eia, local i'a. So I share this story because none of it began with a master plan. It simply began with love. Love for a place, love for community, love for culture, love for kuleana. And that love matured over time, just like the ʻOhā of the kalo grows from the parent corm into a thriving plant capable of feeding many kalo. Class of 2026, you too have been nurtured, cultivated, and strengthened by your ohana, your kumu, your communities, and this special learning system called ʻOhā. Now you stand ready to nourish others. Some of you will nourish through leadership, some through teaching, some through farming, innovating, protecting ʻāina. No matter what you do, carry within yourselves all of this ike, not only from ʻOhā, but from your ohana, from all of your experiences, your lived experiences, from your ʻāina. And in closing, My final words of encouragement to each of you is this: dare to fall in love with something worthy of your time, your energy, your heart, and your gifts. Because when people care deeply, they commit. When they commit, they persevere. And when they persevere together, they transform themselves and communities. The world does not necessarily need more billionaires. The world needs people who are deeply connected, people willing to malama what matters, people willing to dream beyond themselves, people willing to build futures rooted in aloha ʻāina and ʻāina aloha. Continue to kuliai Kanu, strive for the highest in all that you do, walk with aloha, lead with humility, serve with purpose, honor your culture, and always, always, always remember who you are. Keikio ka ʻāina. Aloha nō.
Mahalo, mahalo, Mahina. Wonderful to see you. Now we're going to get to the part of this ceremony where they are going to introduce themselves to you through their moku ʻAhā.
No hopulawa hanauia mai o Ronald Verderami, he kane. E ano o ka maʻoko ahau o ka ʻohana Tiatava. O Alexei Petrovich Tiatov ke kane. O Yevdokia Titovna Kornushina Kavahine. No hopulawa hanauia mai o Boris Alexeyevich he kane. O Alexander Petrovich Medvedev ke kane. O Maria Ivanovna Medvedev Kavahine. No hopulawa hanauia mai o Tatiana Alexandrovna Hevahine. O Boris Alexeyevich Tiatov ke kane. O Tatiana Alexandrovna Medvedeva Kavahine. No hopulawa hanauia mai o Anna Borisovna Tiatova Hevahine. O Ronald Verderami ke kane. O Anna Borisovna Tiatova Kavahine. No hopulawa hanauia mai o Tatiana Hevahine. O wao Tatiana Verderami e ala. Mahalo.
Aloha mai ka... Auntie, how do you do this? Okay. Aloha mai kako. Eia no ka o hana o English Sagario. O Agopinto Sagario ke kane o Gleana Rosas Hevahine. No hopulawa hanoia mala o Francisco Sagario ke kane. O Kenneth Santos ke kane, o Constance Armstrong Kavahine, no hopulawa hana maila o Lynette de Santos Hevahine. O George English ke kane, o Lucia Iona Hevahine, no hopulawa hana maila o Parker English ke kane. o George Arthur Fit ke kane, o Lenore Bonin hevahine, noho pulawa hano mala o Donna Sue Ashan hevahine. O Francisco Zeraya ke kane, o Lynette De Santos hevahine, noho pulawa hano mala o Samuel Peleni Zeraya ke kane. O Parker English ke kane, o Donna Sue Ashan hevahine, noho pulawa hano mala o Patricia Jean English hevahine. O Samuel Peleni Zeraya ke kane, o Patricia Jean English hevahine, noho pulawa hano mala o Vara o November hina ke a lo kawai lele a lo I ualili noi I kalala Shaldine Zagayo. He pula mai kaleni mai e ola ka ohana English Zagayo.
Ka mo'okua hao no Shilleri Tiara Lalani Lalea Pelekane Manosa. Eia no ka mo'okua hao o ka ohana Manosa. O Nelson Nahinu Waikiki Senior Hekane, o Matilda Le Momi Ma'alea Kawahine, noho pulawa a hanau ia maila o Llewellyn Kalani Kie Waikiki Hekane. O Stanley Manosa Hekane, o Barbara Kinoris Kawahine, noho pulawa a hanau ia maila o Jacqueline Marie Manosa Hewahine. O Llewellyn Kalani Kie Waikiki Kekane, o Jacqueline Marie Manosa Kawahine, noho pulawa a hanau ia maila o Brandon Kavika Manosa Hekane. Eia no ka mo'okua hao o ka ohana Pelekane. O Reginald Wahilani Smith Hekane, o Rachel Nani Bush Kawahine, noho pulawa a hanau ia maila o Reginald Maluike Hao Smith Hekane. O Charles Adam Pelekane Hekane, o Louise Kalewai Kawahine, noho pulawa a hanau ia maila o Doreen Lalani Louise Pelekane Hewahine. O Reginald Maluike Hao Smith Hekane, o Doreen Lalani Louise Pelekane Kawahine, noho pulawa a hanau ia maila o Shirley Tiare Sofia Kawaile Hua Pelekane Kawahine. O Brandon Manosa, Kavika Manosa Hekane, o Shirley Tiare Sofia Kawaile Hua Manosa Kawahine. Noho pulawa a hanau ia maila o Shailari Tiara Lalani Lalea Pelekane Manosa Hewahine. O wau no o Shailari Tiara Lalani Lalea Pelekane Manosa, he pula mai kalani mai e ola ko ohana Pelekane Manosa.
Aloha. No or ka mo'okua hao no Caleb Arthur Crook. Eia no ka mo'okua hao o ka ohana Crook, o Arthur Crook ke kane. O Ruby Bladel Kawahine. Noho pulawa a hanau ia mai o Dean Crook he kane. O Dean Crook he kane. O Kathleen Katie Kawahine. Noho pulawa a hanau ia mai o Joshua Crook he kane. Eia no ka mo'okua hao o ka ohana Daush. O Thomas Daush ke kane. O Mary Kirkpatrick Kawahine. Noho pulawa a hanau ia mai o ka or no. Let me restart. Noho pulawa a hanau ia mai o Thomas Daush Hekane. O Thomas Daush Hekane. O Gerda Didrikson Kawahine. Noho pulawa a hanau ia mai o Elizabeth Daush Hewahine. O Joshua Crook Kekane, O Elizabeth Dausch Kawahine, Noho Pulawa Ahanau Iamai, O Caleb Crook Hekane. O Val, O Caleb Arthur Crook, Ela. Mahalo.
Ea no ka moku au hau o ka ohana ka halewai. O Solomon ka halewai ke kane. O Randa ka halewai ka wahine. Noho pulawa o hanau ia maila o Royce Farron. Aia no ka moku au hau o ka ohana Pelekai and Farron. O Robert Pelekai ke kane. O Holiday ke nini ka wahine. Noho pulawa o hanau iau maila Renel Pelekai. O Royce Farron mokua kane o Renel Pelekai mokua hine noho pulawa hanau iau maila o Kaisiman o Kaleo Kalewai. Wau Kaisi Kalewai. Ela.
Ea ka moʻoku au hau no kaulike puaʻa. O Alexander Kapahipu a senior ke kane o Emman Harris ka wahine, noho pulawa a hanau ia mai o Alexander Kapahipu a junior kane. O Harold Lum ke kane o Polila Wae o Mankanahart ka wahine, noho pulawa a hanau ia mai o Patricia Shokjom Lum he wahine. O Alexander Kapahipu a junior ke kane o Patricia Shokjom Lum ka wahine, noho pulawa a hanau ia mai o Scott Kialiʻi Pua he kane. O Harry Hola Leo Hanakahi ke kane o Aida Kukiaka o Waili Ula o Mana me Keone Kani o Nohili Kamanaka Wahine, Noho Pulawa a hanau ia mai o Ruby Le Mami Hanakahi he wahine. O Raymond Luther Kumar ke kane o Ruby Le Mami Hanakahi ka wahine, Noho Pulawa a hanau ia mai o Thaddeus Kumar ke kane. O William Ulamahe Hei Purdy ke kane o Ela Kapaku ka wahine, Noho Pulawa a hanau ia mai o Anahi Aka I Kapolio Pele Purdy ha wahine. O Wati Liberty Senior ke kane o Anahi Aka I Kapolio Pele Purdy ka wahine, Noho Pulawa a hanau ia mai o Scarlett Loyola Ritty ha wahine. O Thaddeus Kumar ke kane o Scarlett Loyola Ritty ka wahine, Noho Pulawa a hanau ia mai o Malia Manavale a Ritty Kumar ha wahine. O Scott Kelly Ipua ke kane o Malia Manavale a Ritty Kumar ka wahine, Noho Pulawa a hanau ia mai o Kaulike Pua a he wahine. O Auna o Kaulike Lohiau Leila na Kila Pua'a. He pula pula mai kalani mai e ola ka ohana Ritty Kumar Pua'a.
At this time, we're going to have our